It started with a joke. We were part of a seasonal trail crew assigned to clear old logging paths in a national park that hadn't seen regular foot traffic in years. Just 5 of us. Me, Sarah, Caleb, Tyler, and Joel. We were clearing Trail 6, which cut through an area called Deadwood Hollow. Everything there looked wrong. Trees grew at strange angles. No birds, no underbrush. Just pine needles, silence, and fog that never fully burned off. Joel was the first to say it. He laughed and said, "If I disappear out here, don't follow anything that looks like me." We all chuckled. The air felt heavy, but jokes keep morale up. We moved on. That night, we camped about a mile from the work site. Around 2 a.m., I woke up and saw Joel sitting near the edge of the fire pit, just outside the circle of light. I asked him what he was doing. He didn't answer, just stared into the trees, still, quiet. After a moment, he got up and walked off into the woods. I called his name. No response. Caleb stirred in the tent beside mine and asked what was going on. I told him Joel went for a walk. He blinked at me and said, "Joel's in the tent." Been snoring all night. I looked back at the tree line. Empty. In the morning, I convinced myself it was a dream. Joel acted normal. Same voice. Same dumb jokes. But something about his eyes felt off. Like they didn't track your movement right. They were too still. 2 days later, Sarah pulled me aside. She said she saw Joel in the woods, alone, staring at her. Then he turned and walked backward into the trees. I checked. Joel was at camp, eating a granola bar. He said he hadn't left his tent all morning. We didn't say anything to the others. The next night, Tyler went missing. His sleeping bag was empty, boots gone, no sign of struggle. We searched. We called his name. After an hour, Caleb found footprints leading toward a dry creek bed, and then away from it, heading back to camp. We waited. At dusk, Tyler walked into camp. Same clothes, same voice. But he didn't ask where we'd been. He just smiled, wide and too still, and sat down next to the fire. Sarah whispered, "Look at his hands." I did. They were clean. Too clean. No dirt, no scrapes. Just pale skin and nails like polished glass. We didn't sleep that night. The next morning, both Joel and Tyler were gone. No tracks, no gear missing. Just empty sleeping bags zipped all the way up. Sarah was already packing. Caleb followed her lead. We didn't talk about it. We just started walking back toward the ranger station. About halfway down the trail, we saw Joel. He was standing in the middle of the path, smiling, not moving. Caleb raised his hand to wave. Sarah slapped his arm down and said, "Don't! That's not him!" Joel tilted his head, not like a person, like a puppet trying to guess what expression came next. We backed away. He didn't follow. But as we turned the bend, I swear I heard him call out in Joel's voice, "You forgot your radio." When we reached the station, we were shaking, dirty, and half out of our minds. The ranger on duty asked what happened. We told him. Everything. He didn't even blink. He just nodded and said, "Hollow's been doing that again?" I asked, "What the hell does that mean?" He looked at us and said, "It copies the ones who wander too far. Doesn't get it quite right. Not yet." Caleb asked what we should do. The ranger walked over to a dusty storage locker, pulled out 3 small pouches, and handed one to each of us. Inside was a mirror, a strip of deer hide, and a silver coin. He said, "Sleep with these. If you see someone you know out of place, don't speak to them, don't follow, and whatever you do, don't answer if they use your name." Sarah asked, "What happens if we do?" He paused, then said, "Then something answers back using yours." I moved states after that job. Different park, different elevation. But a week ago, I woke up to a knock at the door just before dawn. When I looked through the peephole, my heart stopped. Joel was standing there, smiling. Still. He didn't knock again, just waited. I didn't open the door. Eventually, he turned and walked away. But when I looked outside an hour later, there were 2 sets of footprints, and the second set was barefoot,